Hi, I'm Nikki Mendon from Souls Education, and today I'm going to show you how to access deeper knowledge within your chart and how to navigate the transits page from the Genetic Matrix Pro app. Don't worry if you haven't got the app, you can actually find a link in the description box below. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your chart and also to access sections of your chart that will give you a deeper understanding of the definition that's within your chart. Plus, for those of you who are following my solar journey, I'll also show you how to access the transits and how to interact with this. If you do want a deeper understanding of the gates, I'll be taking you through all 64 gates over a period of a year. Each gate takes roughly 5 to 6 days to transit, at which point you get to experience and contemplate on the energy of the gate. The power of the sun really brings you into that experience. So whilst you're creating awareness around the gate, learning about the information of the gate, then also coupled with the energetic experience of it, it can really heighten your experience and deepen your learning. So if you want a creative way to discover your inner truth and you want to delve a little bit deeper and have access to healing, deep healing, then there will be a description in the box below. So let's go ahead with looking at the chart. So I'm going to show you how to set one up. So this is what you gain access to when you log in and you create an account with Genetic Matrix. So you've got all of your information up here. This is the services, and it will take you directly from the services to this page. So we're going to set up a person. And let's call this person, I don't know, Lucy Lou. So you're going to put their details in, and we're going to say that this person is born on the 25th of February 1974 at 1500 hours and 15 minutes. Now, try your best to get the time of birth. The reason for that is the Pro app gives you lots of access to different parts of the human design system, including the deeper levels of the PHS system and the variables. So with the variables, it's really important that you get your time of birth within about 15 minutes. So it is really important for a really accurate chart to get your exact date, but don't worry if you can't access that. There are a couple of ways. You can contact me and I can muscle test for you to get an accurate time of birth. Or you can start off by defaulting here at 1200 hours, play around with the chart a little bit, maybe do 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening, 12 o'clock in the evening, and just see which fits your personality best. But I would say in order to do that, you would probably need a little bit of guidance from an expert, or if you are well on the way with your journey, you'll be able to have a play around with this. So let's say that this person is born in the United Kingdom. And we will say that she is born in London. So there we go. So when we click OK, it then brings us to the BodyGraph. Apologies, we're very slow here today. Okay. So you just want to check and make sure that all the date information is correct, the time is correct. And I'm going to take you up to this bar at the top. So this is your foundation reading. This is your BodyGraph, the basic information of your chart. And when we click on here, the next one down is the interactive section. So this is what I wanted to show you. So to get a deeper understanding of each of the gates and how your line relates to this as well, you can actually click on each of the planets, the sun, the nodes, and the earth positions in your chart, and whether that's from a personal point of view or from the design point of view, each one will give you a wealth of information. So you can see in this person's sun, there are 37th gate with the first line. So you can see that the 37th gate is the family. It gives you a brief description here, and it talks about it being the gate of friendship. And then it will go into deeper layers. So we'll then start looking at the line number. So in this instance, it's the father or the mother. You can see that there's no fixing on this. So with this particular person, they can actually, there's no planet in detriment for this one, and they're in alignment with Venus at this point. So you've got the description of the energy when it's based in its mastery. So when you're looking at in detriment, this red pointed arrow downwards, then that's generally working when you're working from your fear. When it's pointing upwards, and the black arrow pointing upwards, that means that you're working from your self-mastery. And of course, we can range within the space of a few hours between the two. So this isn't a tool to beat you up with. Don't think that because right now you're feeling a little bit down, a little bit in the dumps, and not really working to your full potential, and you're working from your fear. It's an observation that you're making. You don't need to do anything else with that. Just experience it and understand where you're coming from. So we can go deeper into the gate information. And we've also got the gene keys, which is Richard Rudd's language as well, about when you're in your fear state, when you're in your gift, and when you're in your self-mastery. So there's quite a lot of information on here from the interactive side. You can also look at each of the centers as well with this. So as well as accessing your gate and your line number, you've also got information about how your center works. So when it's in the not self and when it's in its wisdom, you can see the difference between the two. So it's really a gauge on how you are reacting in the moment, because you can't control events that are around you. You can't control the challenges that are coming to you, but what you can control is how you show up and how you deal with these situations. And this is a really good guide for you to get to grips and understand your own energy and how that works. So with your chart, you're looking at the definition. So where you have a planet in alignment with a gate at the point of your birth, and also 80 degrees, 88 days prior to your birth, which creates your design, then your chart here, your interactive chart, gives you a lot of information about those. But you are all 64 gates. Just because you don't have a planet in alignment with a gate at the point of your birth doesn't mean to say that you don't access the other energies. So where they are white and they are open, that means that you have a variable view of that particular gate and the energy that's within that gate. So you have different experiences depending on where the planetary alignments are, and also whose aura you are in. Because, for example, you may be standing next to somebody who has the 20th gate defined. So they have a very fixed experience of that energy. But for you, you can have a very varied experience, because standing in the energy of the person that's next to you right now, you could experience how they feel, move away from their aura and enter somebody else's aura who also has a defined 20th gate. And then you'll have another different experience. So this is about raising your awareness as to what is you, what is fixed in you with the definition in your chart, and what is open and what is variable for you, so that you really get to understand what is your energy and what is somebody else's. And that really brings you to a place of individuation, being able to be your own true, authentic self. So that's a little bit about the interactive side for your own personal chart. You can also order a talking chart here. You can create one of those, and in the talking charts, as it says, this is how you go on and order these. So you can do it for yourself, or you can even send it as a gift to somebody. But within the talking charts, you actually get to hear an astrologer in particular who talks you through his version of each of the gates. So it gives you just a little bit more information on top of what is already there in the gate information. So it gives you a little bit more information on top of everything that is here, his version of it, for you to go away and to contemplate. So that's another option within this genetic matrix. So for those of you who are following my solar journey, we'll now take a look at the transits. So in particular, the reason why I picked the solar journey is because this is our place of power. This is our ego. And this is also where we get to experience our willpower. And you'll see from here that within each of these transits, you can see that they take generally about 5 to 6 days. So we entered into, we're on the 7th of January right now. We entered into the 54th gate on the 5th. And that is going to continue until the 10th. So we experience the energy of this gate, and this gate in particular is about ambition. So if I click onto the actual gate, it will provide us with a bit of information. So you've got the gate of ambition, you've got it in its exalted position, so its self-mastery position, and its detriment position, which is our fear base, how we experience it as fear. You've also got the additional gate information, so that will give you a little handle on what's actually, what they're talking about. Now, if you are open in this particular gate, then you will really get to experience the energy that the sun is providing. So this will be a real place of power for you. And Ra speaks of the sun transits being the absolute best way of learning. In fact, he talks about all of the transits. He said if you can really sit with yourself and gain that sensitivity around the gate, it gives you a real focus if you're aware of where you're transiting into throughout the year. But it also, with that focus, gives you an opportunity to heighten your awareness of your own energy. So if you are defined in this gate, the 54, let's use that as an example. If you're defined in the 54th gate, then it's a focus for you to understand how your energy works. And if you're open in the 55th gate, it gives you an opportunity to experience an energy that you wouldn't always have fixed access to, and to get an understanding of a different perspective. So the sun will bring you into alignment. And as you can see here, it goes through each of the lines as well. So we've got the 54th gate on Wednesday in line 1, and that progresses through to line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, and line 6. Sometimes you only get 5 days access. That's not to say that you don't transit through all of the lines. It's just that they're taking this at 12 o'clock. And at that moment in time, we can flip from the 4th line to the 6th line, because somewhere in the middle on that particular day was the 5th line. So you get to access the full spectrum within that gate. So even if you are defined in the 54th gate, you may be 54-1. So on the first day, you will be feeling your own experience, but then you get to sample the 2nd line on the 2nd day of the transit, the 3rd line on the 3rd day of the transit. So you'll get to experience a different nuance within the energy. So it's not to say that you can't learn anything if you fit the 54th gate. You will learn a different aspect within the lines. And also as well, if you have the opposite gate, the harmonic gate to this, so it will create a whole channel. So in this case, with the 54th gate, it lines up with the 32nd, and that brings you into alignment of, from ambition, it's really a business channel, and it speaks to you when it aligns up with the 32nd gate of fear of failure. So it may be that you have the 32nd gate defined, but the 54th gate open. And when they align, they give you access to the full channel. So we will go into a lot of detail about this when we go through the solar journey. So if that is something that you're interested in, don't forget that you can find out more details in the description below. As well as the solar journey, I will then give you an opportunity to receive healing around this. So if you recognize a particular behavior that you want to develop and improve on, or if you have a raised spiritual practice, if you're wanting to raise your awareness around this particular energy, particular trait, emotion that's connected to it, if you need healing with the associated part of the anatomy that's connected to this gate, then that will be an option on an extended version. So I hope that's been of use for you today, and I look forward to seeing you.